Hi everyone, my name is Ryan, and today I'll be presenting on the impact of social media on identity formation in adolescence. Social media is now one of the most powerful forces influencing how young people see themselves and interact with others. In this talk, I'll explain how identity is formed during adolescence, how social media affects that process, and what the research and sociological theories tell us about its impact. Here's what we'll cover. I'll define identity formation from a sociological perspective. Then I'll talk about how social media influences adolescents' self-image, and we'll review some key studies and statistics. And finally, I'll connect it all to sociological theories like symbolic interactionism and social constructionism. What is identity formation? Identity formation is the ongoing process of developing a clear, unique sense of self, shaped by both internal reflections and external influences. It involves understanding who we are, what we value, and how we fit into the world around us. Psychologist Erik Erikson identified identity formation as a central task of adolescence, a time when individuals face the developmental challenge of identity versus role confusion. During this stage, teens begin to explore different roles, beliefs, and values in an effort to form a stable and coherent identity. Successful navigation of this stage leads to a strong sense of self, while failure may result in confusion and uncertainty about one's place in society. The looking glass self. Sociologist Charles Horton Cooley introduced the concept of the looking glass self, which suggests that our self-concept is shaped by how we imagine others perceive us. We view ourselves through a social mirror, interpreting others' reactions and adjusting our behaviors and self-image accordingly. This reflective process isn't just about direct feedback, it's also about perceived judgment, which can deeply influence our identity over time. Social media and modern identity. In the modern digital age, the dynamics of identity formation have become more complex. Social media platforms serve as a constant feedback loop where adolescents present curated versions of themselves and receive almost immediate responses through likes, comments, views, and shares. This creates a heightened sense of self-awareness and social comparison. Online personas can blur the line between authentic identity and digital performance, as teens may shape their self-image based on how others engage with their content, rather than on their own values or interests. Moreover, the pressure to maintain an idealized online image can impact self-esteem, mental health, and personal development. At the same time, digital spaces also offer opportunities for exploration and connection, allowing young people to express facets of their identity that might be suppressed in offline settings. These dual forces, validation and vulnerability, make the digital world a powerful context for shaping who we become. In short, identity formation is not only a psychological and social process, but very much a digital one. It reflects a dynamic interplay between how we see ourselves, how others see us, and how we think others see us, both in real life and online. Daily use and social media habits. Today's teens spend an average of 4 to 5 hours per day on social media platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. These platforms are more than just entertainment because they become key environments for self expression, social validation, and identity exploration. For many adolescents, social media is the primary space where they present themselves to the world, receive feedback, and make sense of who they are in relations to others. What teens post, whether it's a selfie, a trendy video, or a caption, is often carefully curated to align with how they want to be seen. Filters, editing tools, different algorithms further shape that digital persona, allowing users to emphasize certain traits while downplaying others. This process isn't necessarily deceptive, rather, it reflects a deeper effort to construct identity in a way that resonates with both personal aspirations and peer expectations. The visibility and permanence of online content and additional layers of pressure. Every post can be liked, shared, commented on, or ignored, each reaction carrying a social weight. As a result, teens may begin to evaluate their self-worth through the lens of digital metrics like follower counts and the rates of their engagement. This creates this feedback loop where external validation plays a significant role in how they perceive themselves. However, these platforms also offer meaningful opportunities. They provide spaces for teens to explore different aspects of their identity: gender, culture, interests, humor, and values, especially when such expressions might feel unsafe or unwelcomed in those offline contexts. Online communities can offer support, connection, and a sense of belonging, all of which are crucial during the formative adolescent years. In this way, social media acts as both a mirror and a stage, reflecting identity back to the user, while also offering a space to perform revised and reshaped it. Understanding how engage teens with these Understanding how teens engage in these platforms is essential to understanding how their sense of self develops in the digital age. The curated self. Social media platforms promote the construction of a curated self, an intentional, crafted, often idealized version of who someone wants to be rather than who they truly are. Through carefully chosen photos, captions, filters, posts, users can present a well-polished image that highlights confidence, popularity, or aesthetic appeal. For teens who are already navigating the complexities of identity formation, this can lead to significant pressure to appear flawless, fun, socially desirable at all times. This curated identity is reinforced by a culture of constant peer validation, which are like comments, views, or likes. Shares serve as a social currency. These visible metrics often function as a digital measure of approval, subtly influencing how teens perceive themselves and others. When a post receives a lot of positive engagement, it can boost their self-esteem, and then there is silence or worse, negative feedback. It may lead to self-doubt, anxiety, or feeling of rejection. The absence of validation can be especially damaging during adolescence time when the need for acceptance is particularly strong. This reliance of external approval can erode authentic self-expression as individuals may prioritize what it's like to be liked or what is meaningful or true to them. While these platforms can empower creativity and confidence, they can also contribute to stress, comparison, and fear of not measuring up. Recognizing these influences of the curated self is essential in understanding the emotional and psychological landscape teens navigate online. A 2018 Pew Research Center study revealed that 59% of teens feel pressured to appear, excuse me, popular or attractive online. This pressure stems not only from peers, but also from highly visual and competitive nature of platforms like Instagram and TikTok, where appearance, lifestyles, social standings are often put on display. Further highlighting the emotional toll of social media, Twenge and Campbell found a strong correlation between high levels of social media use and lower self-esteem in teens. The study suggests that constant exposure to curated, idealized images of others can lead to negative social comparisons, making users feel inadequate or left out. Over time, this can affect how teens view themselves, but also their mental health and overall sense of well being. However, the digital landscape isn't entirely negative. One encouraging finding is that LGBTQ plus teens often discover meaningful support and affirmation online. Social media can provide a sense of community for those who may feel isolated or misunderstood. These platforms give teens the opportunity to have safe exploration, express themselves, and validate their identities, often finding peers who share similar experiences. In this way, social media can serve as a powerful space for connection, representation, and empowerment, especially for the marginalized groups. Taking together these studies highlight the dual nature of social media in teens' lives. It can intensify self-doubt, and it can also offer vital spaces for identity development and support. Understanding this balance is key to guiding health-informed use of digital platforms. As sociological theories further illuminate the complex relationship between social media and teen identity. On digital platforms, each like, comment, or share becomes a symbolic exchange that shapes how teens see themselves and how they believe others see them. These micro interactions contribute to performative sense of self, which teens curate content not only to express but also to refine their identities based on feedback. Social constructionism reminds us that identity is not fixed, rather, it's continuous reshaped by cultural, technological environments. As teens engage with diverse communities and shifting norms online, their understanding of gender, success, beauty, and belonging evolves. Finally, conflict theory draws attention to the unequal access and outcomes associated with social media. Teens from lower socioeconomic backgrounds may face digital divides, limited access to technology or supportive online spaces, and are often more vulnerable to negative psychological effects, social comparisons, and cyberbullying. These disparities highlight how power and inequality are embedded in digital landscapes, affecting those voices and whose identities are validated. On the benefit sides, there's pros and cons. Social media encourages self-expression and helps teens explore their identities. It also provides supportive communities, especially for marginalized groups. These platforms make it easier for teens to connect like-minded peers and can often offer emotional support and a sense of belonging. However, there are some drawbacks. Social media can increase pressure to look attractive or seem popular. It may lower self-esteem and promote unhealthy comparisons, especially when teens constantly are curated and idolized versions of others' lives. Over time, it can cause depression, anxiety, and confusion on one's personal identity. At last, to sum up, social media plays a complicated but powerful role in teen development. On the positive side, it gives teens a space to express themselves, explore who they are, and find communities where they feel seen and supported, especially important for those who may feel isolated. in their offline lives. For many, it's a lifeline for connection, creativity, and belonging. But at the same time, it brings serious challenges. Constant pressure to appear perfect or popular can wear down someone's self esteem and lead to harmful comparisons. Over time, this can fuel anxiety, depression, and confusion about one's identity. In the end, social media isn't inherently good or bad, it's a tool. The impact, its impact depends on how it's used, the support systems in place, and whether teens feel empowered to use it in ways that strengthen, not harm, their sense of self. Understanding that balance is key to helping young people develop healthy habits and strong, grounded identities in the digital world. Thank you. I'd be happy to take any questions.